Good evening, Dominica and the wider world. I am Soana Benjamin with EmoNews for April 28th, 2026. In tonight's headlines, Dominica Solid Waste announces temporary suspension of select waste at landfill. Kalinago Chief speaks on impact of April 26 drought on the territory. CXC announces historic exam season. Dominica and France strengthen security ties at Joint Commission meeting. Trump administration dismisses entire National Science Board. And Iran pushes Hormuz deal while delaying nuclear talks. These stories and more up next.
Across our Caribbean, we're going digital, working smarter and living safer online.
In Dominica, we don't fall for fake prices. We check before we click.
In Grenada, we verify before we share, keeping our hard-earned money safe from hackers.
In St. Lucia, we report cyberbullying, protecting our children and each other.
In St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we report scams fast, protecting our neighbors and our communities.
Together, we're building a cyber-smart Caribbean, keeping our people and our data safe, standing up to scams and cybercrime. We stay connected, but always alert. This message is brought to you by the Caribbean Digital Transformation Project. Stay smart, stay safe. Think Card TP. Visit cardtpconnect.org.
In local news, the Dominica Solid Waste Management Corporation has issued an important notice advising the public of the immediate suspension of certain waste categories at the landfill until further notice. Items currently not being accepted include construction and wood waste such as boards, pallets, posts, and general timber, bulky items including furniture and white goods like refrigerators and stoves, metals including galvanized sheets, scrap metal, and iron of all sizes. The corporation is urging residents across Dominica to securely store these materials at their premises until normal operations resume. Officials say the temporary measure is necessary to maintain the efficiency of the facility and ensure proper waste management operations. The Dominica Solid Waste Management is thanking the public for their cooperation and continued support in keeping the island clean and green. In more local news, tour guides in Dominica are strengthening their skills and boosting their earning potential through a specialized certification program held from April 13th to the 21st, 2026. The initiative, supported by the Caribbean Development Bank under the EC STEMS project, is being delivered in collaboration with the OECS Commission, Dominica State College, the Ministry of Tourism, and the Discover Dominica Authority. A total of 30 participants are undergoing intensive training in key areas such as biodiversity, cultural awareness, and customer service. The program aims to equip guides with the knowledge and professionalism needed to deliver high-quality visitor experiences while promoting sustainable tourism practices. The training will conclude with formal assessments to ensure participants meet international standards, further positioning Dominica's tourism sector for continued growth and excellence. In other local news, Kalinago Chief Annette Sanford has described the April 26 drought system that affected the Kalinago territory as sudden and unexpected. Speaking to EmoNews, Chief Sanford said the heavy rainfall came out of nowhere, catching many residents off guard. In the aftermath, she personally visited members of the community, particularly the elderly, to ensure their safety and well-being.
We are here with the Kalinago Chief, Mrs. Annette Sanford, and she's going to talk to us about what she saw and how she feels about the entire situation. Ms. Sanford, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, Emo, and good afternoon to all your listeners.
How are you feeling today?
Well, it's a very sad moment for me, honestly. For the community, I know there are families who are hurting and families who are depressed and wondering how they're going to face tomorrow. So it's a trying moment for all of us. Yesterday, the rain was very sudden. I think the the moment for us here is that it was so sudden that nobody expected it. It came out of nowhere, and the rain just started pouring, and it lasted for several hours.
Have you gone out?
Yes, I did go out yesterday. Actually, I took a walk in the morning because there are some elderlies who live lower down that I had to check up on them to make sure that they were okay. Most of them were safe. The house was leaking, but they were not willing to leave. And two of the elderly persons living way down at the bottom near Barana Ote, they were stuck in, so there was no way we could get to them. I think the roads are still blocked. I'm hoping that when public work comes, then we'll be able to get them out. But yes, all around the community, there are slides. We took a walk. I took a walk all the way down to Creole River. That's where I could reach. And then a little below my home in Sensi, because both areas were blocked off from.
And I know your husband
access.
said that you'll have to move last night because the place also got some damage.
Yes, as you can see, we got the impact of the water coming down here. Usually when it rains, especially up from the roadside, all the water comes down into the yard and everything that is up on the road comes down, garbage, everything. So it was really pouring. And when we noticed that the land was slipping, there's a huge crack just above. We had to leave because we didn't want to stay, especially for children and everything. We had to find somewhere else to sleep. So we went out, we slept out, and then we came back just a while ago too.
What's next for the council? There's a tough job ahead.
Yeah, so we have to try to see how we can find support for the families whose homes were destroyed and whose businesses were destroyed, to clear the roads, ensure that everybody have some communication access. Access right now is priority, so getting people to pass from one community to the next, I think, is important.
What message would you like to send out to your Kalinago residents?
I just want to tell everybody to stay put. Thank God that everybody's alive. And for all the Kalinago people abroad, try to reach out to your family. If there's any way you can support them in any way that you can financially to help them develop their place back to how it was, make it better, make it stronger. As you can see, even if you have a concrete building, you're still at high risk. It doesn't matter what type of home you have, you are always at risk. So try to reach out to your family, give them the support now that they need you. And to all the other persons around Dominica looking, I just want to say thank you for those of you who have been reaching out. Thank you for those of you who have been encouraging us and trying to see that we're okay. We are fine here, but the work ahead is a lot. We have a lot of work to do in terms of clearing the paths, ensuring that everybody have access to communication, ensuring that families get their homes in order again.
Thank you so much, Ms. Sanford, and all the best.
Yes, thanks, Simo.
She noted that the Kalinago Council is actively working to assess the damage and will be seeking support for individuals whose homes were destroyed or severely impacted. Despite the challenges, Chief Sanford is encouraging residents to remain strong and focused as recovery efforts continue across the territory. And in related news, Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit visited communities in the eastern region of Dominica following the recent trough system, assuring residents that government assistance will be provided to those affected. During his visit, the Prime Minister met with families impacted by flooding and landslides, offering reassurance and outlining plans for support.
Morning to you, EmoNews, and of course it's really something else to see that how these huge houses just tumble down. Serious earth movement there. Brand new homes. There's a bakery as well, supplying the community with fresh bread, all been washed away. One can only appreciate the trauma of the families. I understand in one of the buildings there was somebody in it. so we can understand the traumatization that people went through. But the most important thing is that everybody's alive. There were no injuries, and of course the system in place. And we're here in complete solidarity with the affected people, victims of this trough system. And that's the reality that we're faced with. These things are not planned. People here, very lovely location in Atkinson there, peaceful, beautiful sea view, lovely breeze, and their investment has been washed away there. But we're here to reassure the community and those who were directly impacted by this trough system. Nobody expected it to just rain, and one can understand now just rain can have so much devastating impact on the community. So our focus now is to provide the families with immediate support so that they can have peace of mind. We will take care of their rental accommodation until we address their permanent housing situation, and also provide them with some direct financial support to replace some of the things that they would have lost during as a result of this disaster. Of course, the assessments continue by various ministries, Ministry of Housing, Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Health, Social Services. All the government agencies are out doing the necessary assessments so we can have a quick report today and to determine what kind of specific assistance we will provide to those individuals. We will also speak to the individuals one-on-one and in a private way to assess the circumstance and how best our response could be tailored to suit their specific and targeted need.
He later traveled to Cassibrus, where several southeastern communities, including Saint-Sauveur, Mopo, Trotto, and Pirit-Soufriere, have been cut off due to road damage. Officials have implemented a temporary solution using a ladder to allow limited access, while work is ongoing to construct a temporary bypass road to restore connectivity.
Prime Minister, we just toured the entirety of the Kalinago territory and we saw the damage that the trough system that has here over the weekend did to the different communities. What is the government's view on this?
Well, it's clearly some significant damage has been caused. Really from all the way in Marigot to come back to Cassibrus, we have numerous slides and huge ones which require lots of equipment to clear. So the first objective of the government is to allow for vehicular access to every community, to reconnect every community with each other. And so we mobilize all of the available equipment that are available. Obviously, you have to clear one to get to the other one because they're all in sequential order. And so this is our first order of business. Of course, the assessments are being done by Ministry of Public Works in terms of some of the temporary measures we can put in place to alleviate the conditions that we're experiencing now. Also, we have the assessment being done on agriculture, on homes and the impact on homes. Several homes have to be relocated because they are in a precarious location. And of course, the impact on small businesses is an assessment that we're doing as well. And then the social circumstance of families, the dislocation that this storm has caused. One appreciates the sheer amount of money you're going to be spending just on clearing the slides. I recall in 2022, as I said before, when we had the trough system here in Cassibrus constituency, it cost us over $4.6 million just to clear landslides. We have many more landslides in this time around, spanning from Marigot all the way to Cassibrus. And so we're moving forward with this. I'm happy to see that the people are in high spirits. I was in Marigot yesterday. People are okay. Through Entrizzle, Atkinson, Kalinago territory, and here in Cassibrus.
Authorities say efforts are continuing to bring relief to affected residents and to restore safe access to the isolated communities as quickly as possible. Dominica and France have strengthened their security partnership following the 6th session of the France-Dominica Joint Security Commission held in Guadeloupe on April 24, 2026. The meeting, co-chaired by Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit, along with French officials, brought together key representatives from Dominica and the French territories to address regional security priorities. Discussions focused on boosting judicial cooperation, tackling organized crime and illegal trafficking, and improving collaboration in customs, immigration, and maritime security. Emerging challenges linked to climate change were also addressed. Officials described the talks as productive, reaffirming their commitment to deeper cooperation and enhanced security for citizens across the region. And finally, in local news, the Dominica Dementia Foundation and FACS Premium Home and Residential Care Services held their monthly dementia-friendly meeting last Saturday under the theme Jazz and Creole Dementia-Friendly Event, in keeping with the nation's upcoming celebrations. Although there was no electricity at the start of the event, this did not dampen the excitement as participants took part in activities led by Tina Alexander and Marie-Therese Jonke. When the lights returned, musical entertainment was provided by Julie and Athi Mate and former Calypso queen Joy Stout. Tina Alexander spoke to EmoNews, talking about the importance of such an event.
Well, welcome to FACS, where we're doing a dementia-friendly event. It is a monthly event, and this month we're calling it Jazz and Creole dementia-friendly. So the idea, when we call it dementia-friendly, we mean that if you've got dementia or you're looking after with somebody with dementia, you can come here and feel comfortable. Our activities are informal, they are short, they are friendly, and it doesn't really matter if anybody gets distracted or goes and does something else in the middle. That's all right. So it's very laid back and friendly. And some people say, I like to be here because I meet my friends.
She also sent a special appeal to persons caring for dementia patients to ensure that they prioritize self-care.
Looking after somebody with dementia can be a challenge, especially if they have got past the stage of just forgetting short-term things and have got to the stage of being disorientated and not knowing where they are or who you are or even who they are. That's the very last stage. And then sometimes right at the very end people forget how to do daily functions, and so that's very challenging then. But I just want to encourage people who are looking after somebody with dementia to continue to be kind, to continue to be compassionate and forgiving. The person is not doing it on purpose, okay? They're not trying to annoy you. They're not saying the same story over and over because they think you weren't listening. They're saying it because they don't even remember that they said it already. It's a very big challenge, and if they're getting vexed because they don't want to bathe or they don't want to go to bed when you think they should go to bed, try to be understanding and realize that they've forgotten about how time works, or they've forgotten their usual habit. Maybe they used to be very clean and tidy and now they're not at all, okay? But that's not their fault. I think that's important. And if you're a carer, please try and take at least one morning or afternoon off a week. Get somebody else to come and be with your loved one. If you don't have a relative who can do it, then hire somebody from one of the agencies, Demos or FACS, or many of them agencies can come and give you somebody for an afternoon, so that you get a break. You need a break or you get burnt out.
EmoNews also spoke to Marie-Therese Jonke of FACS.
There are a large part of our population here who suffer with dementia, so this is an event for seniors, but especially those suffering with dementia and their families or their carers, to just have a chillaxed day, enjoying activities. We really want to say a very, very big thank you to the businesses who have supported this event. In particular, NBD, HHV Woodchurch, Springfield Trading, Fresh Market, ESA Trading, Arden Sounds, the Dominica Red Cross Society, and if there's anyone, Ansel Prince, of course, because he always comes and does salsa for us with his group, which the visitors and our residents enjoy thoroughly. We encourage as many people to come as possible. It's completely free of charge. We have lunch and snacks, lots of it. In fact, they're just enjoying bakes and akra and black pudding at the moment, with a big lunch coming behind. So please do feel free to turn up.
And President of the Dominica Dementia Foundation, Vera Nicholas, highlighted the work of her organization.
The foundation's goal is to encourage persons who are living with dementia to participate, to have fun, to grow within the community, to feel loved, to feel welcomed, to have a safe environment, to just have fun. The most important part too is that we want family members to be educated on dementia. Dementia is not something to be afraid of, but it's to understand the impact of the illness on the brain, how it changes a person, and how we can, and I say we, because we all have to learn to negotiate with it, to even interact with persons and to understand what it's about, how it impacts each and every one of us.
Nicholas also spoke briefly of her experience caring for a dementia patient.
Once upon a time when I took care of my mom, she was living with dementia, and this happened in 2017. Mind you, she had dementia before. I think it was 2014 she was diagnosed with it, and my dad was taking care of her. And when he passed, I took over. And it was interesting. I mean, I found it fun initially because it meant now I had to cook for my mother and do this and do that, and then hurricane hit. So it was really like just within a short space of time, you know, everything kind of took place. And honestly, I enjoyed taking care of my mother.
FACTS and the Dominica Dementia Foundation hopes to move the monthly dementia-friendly events to locations all across Dominica in order to raise awareness. And that's all for our local news this evening. We'll be right back with regional news. First up in regional news, Barbados has officially welcomed Venezuela's interim president, Delcy Rodriguez, for a state visit aimed at strengthening regional cooperation and diplomatic ties. Prime Minister Mia Mottley described the visit as an opportunity for high-level discussions on areas of practical cooperation and wider regional development, emphasizing Barbados's commitment to respectful dialogue and meaningful partnerships. Delcy Rodriguez shared brief remarks about her visit.
Reunión de trabajo muy productiva.
Well, we've just finished a very productive meeting.
Con tópicos muy importantes para el pueblo de Barbados y para el pueblo de Venezuela.
We touched on topics very important, equally important for the peoples of Barbados and the people of Venezuela.
Quiero primero que nada felicitar a la primer ministro por su reelección.
First of all, I would like to congratulate the Prime Minister for being re-elected.
Siempre le he dicho que es muy querida por su pueblo.
I have always told her she's very loved by her people.
Y ejerce el liderazgo para el bienestar de su gente.
And she exercises her leadership for the well-being of her people.
Quiero también agradecer su hospitalidad a la delegación de Venezuela que hoy me acompaña.
And I would like to also thank for the hospitality to the delegation of Venezuela that's come here with me today.
Pero hemos terminado con una profunda felicidad por la agenda que hemos construido en sectores de gran envergadura para nuestros países.
And I would like to say that we have finished this meeting with great joy after advancing on many, many important topics for the well-being of our peoples.
The visit includes bilateral talks focused on key areas such as energy, trade, tourism, and food security, as both countries explore ways to deepen collaboration and support regional development efforts. Prime Minister Motley noted that the discussions were warm, open, and engaging, highlighting the importance of direct communication and mutual understanding among Caribbean neighbors. Officials say the engagement reflects Barbados's broader diplomatic approach, grounded in respect, cooperation, and a clear focus on delivering tangible benefits for its people and the wider region. And a 4-day meeting held under the OECS Data for Decision-Making project brought together directors of statistics, regional experts, and development partners to strengthen data governance systems across member states, including Dominica. OECS Director General Didakas Jules stressed the importance of moving beyond data collection to actual use, noting that effective policy making depends on reliable and harmonized data systems. Key discussions focused on improving data quality, accessibility, and standardization, as well as preparations for the 2030 Population and Housing Census and the rollout of the OECS Microdata Catalog. Development partners such as the Caribbean Development Bank and the World Bank highlighted the importance of trust, strong methodologies, and regional collaboration in building effective statistical systems. The meeting also reviewed progress on major regional initiatives and adopted the 2026 to 2030 work plan aimed at strengthening national statistical systems and enhancing evidence-based policy making. Officials say the outcomes of the meeting will help ensure OECS countries are better equipped with accurate, timely data to guide development planning and respond to emerging challenges. And finally, in regional news, the Caribbean Examinations Council, CXC, has issued a direct and personal appeal to examination candidates across the region, urging them to approach the upcoming May-June 2026 session with confidence while prioritizing self-care. In a video message addressed to students, parents, teachers, and other education stakeholders, CXC emphasized that it stands firmly behind every candidate preparing for the exams. Registrar and CEO Dr. Wayne Wesley delivered what he described as a heartfelt message from a Caribbean educator to students gearing up for the examination period in the weeks ahead. Dr. Wesley's remarks come at a time of historic significance for the 54-year-old regional examination body.
Greetings to our candidates preparing for CXC examinations this upcoming May and June. I am Wayne Wesley, the Registrar and CEO of the Caribbean Examinations Council. 54 years ago, we were tasked with designing and implementing an indigenous assessment system for the Caribbean. While much has changed since then, there are some things which have stood the test of time. The cultural relevance of our syllabuses, the global recognition of our qualifications, the diligence of our staff, and our absolute commitment to the success of every single candidate who sits a CXC-administered examination. That means you. Over the decades, we have grown in the number of subjects we offer, the qualifications within our portfolio, and in how we deliver assessments.
A key development in the 2026 examination cycle is the launch of the Caribbean Targeted Education Certificate (CTEC) Mathematics Module 1 pilot. Dr. Dwayne Wesley described the initiative as a major milestone and clear evidence of the Council's active commitment to expanding access to education for learners across the Caribbean. More than 2,000 candidates from 13 member states are registered to participate in the CTEC pilot during this examination cycle.
These candidates will earn their CTEC micro-credential as they progress towards their CSEC certification. This is the future of Caribbean education, taking shape right now. To you, the candidates, you have worked for this. Your teachers have prepared you. Your parents and guardians have supported you. Now it's your time to shine.
Dr. Wesley also issued a special message to candidates in our Caribbean neighbor, Jamaica. And stay tuned for international stories coming up next.
Blast Gaming presents its biggest job ever. Blast Mystery Progressive. I'm so excited. I can't hide it. In your blast up and rising. And I like it. It going up and up and up and up and up. Blast up and up and up and up and up and up.
Play selected games to win in the Blast Mystery Progressive. Pick until you match 3 gems and win one of the 5 cash jackpots. Or you can blast up with the Mystery Progressive jackpot.
It's going up and up and up and up and up. Blast up and up and up. Blast Gaming.
And in the United States, the administration of Donald Trump has dismissed all 22 members of the National Science Board, the NSB, the policy-making body of the National Science Foundation, in a move that has drawn sharp criticism from lawmakers. According to former board member Roger Beachy, those affected received brief termination notices without explanation. The NSB plays a key role in guiding the direction of scientific research and education funded by the federal government. The decision is part of broader efforts by the Trump administration to restructure federal agencies, following previous cuts impacting departments such as education and international development. Democratic lawmakers have strongly condemned the move, raising concerns about the future independence of the board and the potential politicization of science policy in the United States. The National Science Foundation, one of the world's largest funders of scientific research, allocated over $8 billion in 2025. Experts say the long-term impact of the dismissals remains uncertain, particularly regarding future funding priorities and governance of scientific initiatives. The White House has not yet issued an official public statement on the dismissals. And finally, in international news, Iran is advancing a new diplomatic proposal focused on reopening the Strait of Hormuz, while postponing discussions on its nuclear program, as it seeks broader regional and international support. Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has led a series of high-level engagements across Pakistan, Oman, and Russia, holding talks with key leaders including Vladimir Putin. The discussions have centered on maritime security, regional stability, and frameworks for a potential settlement. The proposal aims to prioritize freedom of navigation in the Strait of Hormuz, one of the world's most critical energy routes, while leaving nuclear negotiations with the United States for a later stage. Pakistan continues to play a mediating role between Tehran and Washington, though uncertainty remains over whether the United States will accept the proposal. President Donald Trump has maintained that Iran must first meet key conditions, including abandoning nuclear ambitions. Analysts say Iran is widening its diplomatic outreach to Gulf states and global partners in an effort to build support and avoid isolation, while working toward a broader resolution to the ongoing conflict. The situation remains fluid, with ongoing talks and looming political deadlines expected to shape the next phase of negotiations. And stay tuned for sports coming up next.
Tico, that's $800. Cash or card?
When cash is low, Tico is still ready.
Always card, Chalo. Would you like a copy of the receipt?
No, Chalo. NBD already sent me the alert and I'll see it on Mo Banking later. That is it. From card to farm. Power your business with the NBD Small Business Credit Card. Your partner, your bank.
In sports news, Kenyan athlete Sebastian Sawe has made history by becoming the first man to run a marathon in under 2 hours in an official competitive race, winning the London Marathon on April 26. Sawe shattered the world record for a remarkable time of 1 hour, 59 minutes and 30 seconds, breaking the previous mark of 2 hours and 35 seconds set by the late Kelvin Kiptum at the Chicago Marathon. The sub-2-hour marathon has long been considered one of athletics' greatest barriers, comparable to the 4-minute mile. While Eliud Kipchoge previously ran under 2 hours in 2019, his time was not officially recognized due to controlled race conditions. Sawe's historic achievement now stands as the first officially recognized sub-2-hour marathon performance. Ethiopia's Yomif Kajelka also delivered an outstanding run, finishing second in 1 hour, 59 minutes and 41 seconds, marking the first time 2 athletes have gone under the 2-hour mark in the same race. Sawe's victory is being hailed as a monumental moment in athletics, redefining what is possible in long-distance running. And football action continues in the Dominica Football Association Premier League. The upcoming fixtures for this weekend, Wednesday, April 29th, Southeast will face Mighty Avengers at 7 p.m. at Stock Farm at the Dominica Football Association Technical Center. And on Thursday, April 30th, We United will take on Point Michel. Again, the match will be at 7 p.m. at Stock Farm. On Friday, Middleham United will go up against Bath Estates. The match will be at 7 p.m. at Stock Farm. And on Saturday, there will be 2 exciting matches. First, at the Benjamin Spark, the Portsmouth Bombers will meet the Maho Soccer Strikers at 6:30 p.m. And then at the Dominica Football Association Technical Center in Stock Farm, Harlem United will meet Dubler Football Club. The game will be at 6:30. That's your look at the upcoming DFA Premier League fixtures. Do go out and support your favorite team. And finally, in some major sports news, Addison James has rewritten the history books. In a standout performance at the 2026 Penn Relays, celebrating 120 years of competition, James, originally from Marigot, secured his place among the elite by becoming just the 5th athlete in history to win the high school boys javelin throw event. His winning throw of 72.44 meters not only earned him the title but also set a new Dominican national record. In the process, James shattered Edwin Allen's long-standing program record and delivered the 3rd best throw ever recorded in the history of the meets. This remarkable achievement marks a clean sweep of milestones for the young Dominican athletes. A new national record, a national under-20 record, a new school record, a personal best performance, and the 3rd best throw in Penn Relay's history. An extraordinary moment for Addison James and a proud achievement for Dominica. Congratulations to James. And stay tuned for the weather reports coming up next.
Welcome to Portsmouth, the home of jazz and Creole.
This is where everything starts to build. And just a few minutes away,
on May 3rd, this entire space transforms
into music, into style, into a feeling you don't want to miss. Jazz and Creole. Proudly presented by the government of Dominica. And it all happens right here. The artists performing on the main stage. From Jamaica, Taurus Riley, the Singy King, a voice that moves generations, and the Black Soil Band. Also from Jamaica, Dean Fraser. When the sax hits, everything slows down. From the USA, the Manhattans. Timeless souls, effortless, unforgettable. Dominica's Princess of Song, Mikkel Henderson, a voice that commands every moment. Dominica's neo-soul queen, Lily Octave. Smooth, rich, and completely her own. Pure energy from Dominica. Swinging stars. When they start, you move. The pulse of the streets. From Dominica, rhythm knockers. Raw percussion, iron strong energy. From Dominica, File Landa. Honest sound, real connection. From Dominica, Janet Jackson. A voice that carries feeling, depth, and presence. And from Dominica, Khadija Joseph. New energy, a sound you'll feel. This is how we jazz up Creole in Dominica.
May 3rd, 2 p.m., Fort Shirley, Cabritz National Park.
Tickets, VIP $450. At fringe events, $175. General admission, $200. Ages 12 to 17, $75. And children under 12 enter for free. Get your tickets now at dominicafestivals.com and at select outlets in Roseau and Portsmouth. And when you're coming, come for an experience. In fact,
Make it a weekend. Come from Friday. There's lots of available accommodations in the north and plenty to do.
Go whale watching, then slow it down. Snorkel the reefs, then take it inland. Drift through the Indian River and chase a waterfall at Syndicate. Then go deeper. Find your way to Paradise Valley. Step into the chocolate factory. Then shift the scene. Red Rocks. Then back to the coast. Coconut Beach, Purple Turtle Beach, Bell Hall Beach. Find a quiet spot, even a secret beach. Ride a horse along the shore. Eat well. Take your time. That's Portsmouth. We'll see you at the Fort Shirley Cabritz National Park on May 3rd from 2 p.m. dressed in your Afro elegance attire.
This has been Emo Nightly News for April 28th, 2026. I am your presenter, Soana Benjamin. Have a lovely evening, everyone, and continue to stay safe.